guys, Zach with Wired Customs, and I'm going to show you how to use a tire machine. So I had to buy a tire machine because no one in my area will put on tube tires. They don't know how they work, they can't guarantee them, they don't know if they're safe, they don't know anything about them, or they won't put on tires that you don't buy from them because they can't warranty them out. So I had to buy myself a tire machine. I have a lot of people have been seeing it in the background of the videos asking, how to use a tire machine. I guess a lot of people have never used one before. So this is a secondhand tire machine for me. This is actually brand new to me. I've only had it for a month or two. So I'm excited to do something on it and answer one of your guys' questions. So this tire machine uses air and electric hookups. The table is going to rotate on electric. A lot of the functions are going to be done by air. So I'm going to show you the pedals down here at the bottom. This one is going to spin the table. This one is going to compress our arm over here. So pull that cylinder in. Then this one should open and close the fingers to hold onto the rim. Then the very last one is going to operate my arm up here, my little control arm. So I'll show you how all those work, but there's only 4 buttons. Very simple to operate. So bear with me on the noise. There's a few air leaks. The first thing I'm going to do is compress my fingers in all the way. I like to hold the rim from the inside, not from the lip. So that's why you have 2 different choices. You can grab it by the lip or inside of the rim. I'm going to compress the fingers all the way in. I gotta work on my machine a little bit here. Now when I let go, it's gonna open all the way up and hang on to the rim. Centers itself. Now this is kind of an extra step, but this is how I like to do it. I'm gonna get my valve stem wrench and take out the inside of the valve stem, get out any air that's possibly in the tire. I just don't want any air in here when I go to break the bead on the tire. So that's pretty much all the way out. Pull the rim back off by pushing my button on the floor here. I'll wheel over to my little compressor here and break the bead. Line this up so it compresses the bead and breaks it off the rim. I'm going to push my button that pulls this cylinder in. Sometimes you got to break the bead a couple times around the tire. These have been stuck on for maybe 10-15 years, so. Now you can see it's completely off. Now that I have it securely in place, since it's an old tire, I'm going to go ahead and put a mixture of just soap and water around the bead of the tire, just to get a little lubrication. It's a little bit different when a tire's 20-30 years old compared to a tire that's only 5 to 7 years old. I'm going to use my button here. It's going to release the air pressure so I can line this up with the edge of the rim. I basically wanted to sit on it without actually dragging. So right about there is fine. It's kind of hovering in place. And I'm going to get my little hook here. It's better when these are stainless steel, but this came with my tire machine. And this little edge here is for the hook. So I can grab the bead, pull it up onto that edge, hit my button that spins the table here, and it pulls the bead up off the rim. Pretty simple. Now, if this bottom bead isn't broken, which on this old tire it's not, new tire is a lot easier. That's not broken at all, so I need to pull this back out of there and break the other side. I could probably rip this off, this old tire just like that, but I want to show you guys how to use the machine. And we want to lean the tire that direction forward so we can get the arm in and I can get my pry bar through the bottom bead here. There's it. There's our tire. Obviously, the next thing you want to do is cut the old valve stem off, put a new valve stem on. All right, so this is the same rim. I went ahead and cleaned it up since this was going to be a spare rim. I just hit it with black real quick. So we want to lock onto the rim again. Push our foot pedal. These should slide a little bit easier. There we go. I just got to do some cleaning up. Grab the rim nice and firm. Now we're going to put our new tire on. And I'm going to go ahead and grease this up. There's butter grease that you put on with a brush. I just have spray on soapy water. That'll do the trick just as good. Hit it with a little bit of this spray soap water mixture. Like I said, the brush on and this, the brush on is a little bit better on tighter rims because it gives you a little bit more lubrication, but this does the trick most of the time. And for us hot rodders, remember, if you're running bigs and littles like I am on the 47, you got to make sure the tire and rim size is exactly the same as the rear axle, the big one. We don't want to put on a smaller tire and blow up your rear axle. Now sometimes just throwing this on works. Well, that's fine. It doesn't have to work every time. That's what the machine is for anyway, so might as well not struggle with it. So I'm going to dip it down. Now move the camera so you can see what I'm doing. You want to dip it down underneath this arm here. This arm's actually going to push on the bead for us, and how it's dipped up on that side. So when I spin it, it should put the bead on for us. And you do have to work and hang on to the tire some. So I'm going to grab it and hit my spin. There's the first one. There's the second one. Awesome. Now, a lot of the tire shop guys, they like to air up their tire without a valve stem in it. But I'm going to go ahead and put, not the valve stem, but the little valve here that goes in the valve stem. I'm going to go ahead and put mine in just in case, because I feel like we're going to be able to grab this bead here. The only issue or problem that you run into at this stage is there's not enough air going into this to actually set the bead and lock on and actually start holding air. So we'll see how we do. Now let's see how hard this tire is going to be to fight to get some air trapped into it. Now, some tires aren't that easy. You have to put a rack strap around the center, and that'll smash it down against the bead of the rim enough it'll actually seal. But we got lucky. There we go. That's our spare tire. Super simple. So there we go, guys. It's that easy to work a tire machine. Further and further we get away from these old cars, the hot rods, further and further we get away from people knowing how to work on them, especially our average everyday guys who, honestly, in their defense, them not knowing what a tube tire is or never seeing it, I kind of understand it because the day-to-day driving cars, other than some trailers, don't have tubes anymore. So obviously this wasn't a tube spare tire. This was a spare tire for a 47 Ford hot rod that I'm building. But the only difference to putting a tube in it is you put a tube in after the tire, the first bead it goes down on the tire, you put the tube in, pop that through the rim, pop the valves in through the rim, then you put the second bead down over that. And certain tires actually have protectors, or certain rims actually have protectors around like spokes and stuff like that, so it doesn't pop the tube. And tube rims don't seal with tubeless tires 99% of the time. So look into getting a tire machine for you. It makes it easier. Get out in your garage and get your shift together.